Garject, Clongs, Supoon, Smood, Levoons. Today I'm reviewing these 5 strange products from Dreamfarm. I'm James White and this is Freakin' Reviews. Now I first started Dreamfarm a few months ago and I did some pizza cutters. I compared items like this cool Star Trek pizza cutter and this one called SZA from Dreamfarm. So not long after my video, the company mailed me a package, which I didn't open for a few months until I did a live stream last week. But after opening it and seeing the reaction of everybody, I figured this would be a good opportunity to try out all 5 of these Dreamfarm items they sent and see how they really work. I have no association with this company. This is not a sponsored post, so if it doesn't work, I'll let you know. So let's get started with these 5 weird Dreamfarm kitchen gadgets. This is a garlic press that allows you to not only press the garlic, but scrape off the excess and eject the peel. There is a very attractive item. Now you're supposed to load this up, press the garlic, and then when you are done, you push it, and this is supposed to scrape off the excess. And then this button allows you to eject the peel. Let's see if it really works. Load it up and squeeze. Okay, it takes, I would say, an average amount of pressure to squeeze that off of there. Now, this is the thing, usually you gotta scrape this off with a knife or something, but with this, supposedly you don't have to. Let's check it out. And there's supposed to be a click that it worked. Now we've got the peel in there. Let's see if this will actually eject it where it gets its Garject name. Let's do it. Oh, it worked. It worked. I'll try a big piece and a small piece. First I'll do a small one. I'll speed up a little bit here. Quickly. Okay, now for the scrape. Good, and for the peel. Oh, 2 for 2. One more, I'm gonna do a big one. I'm gonna do a big one here. The bigger it is, the farther apart this handle is gonna be. Got a two-hander. All right, scrape. And the peel already came off. So I can't eject it because the peel's already there. That got stuck in the end, but I do think that it's still superior to typical garlic press. So I think that the Dreamfarm is off to a good start. Let's see what's next. This is the Smood. Smooth mashed in seconds. I think they're pushing that name a little bit, but it features this kind of interesting spiral effect that has this scraper on the side. Dreamfarm seems very big on scraping. It seems like they got scrapers on everything. And supposedly it just takes one press to create a perfect mashed potato and avocado. So let's try those out. I just prepared these potatoes in the Gotham steel pasta pot, which I reviewed a couple years ago, which still works well, by the way. Now the key to this is they say you're supposed to do one at a time against a flat surface. I saw another reviewer out there trying to use these and she was just kind of smashing it. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to have one against the bottom, one press each, and then it supposedly works. Let's do it. And, whoa, not quite what I expected. I guess I can use my scraper here to scrape it off, because they are big on scraping at Dreamfarm. So let me do the rest of these in the bowl like you would probably do in real life here. Okay, 1. It still takes some effort to press it. Oh, also the guy in the video said that there's the handle you can press downward on the top. That's why it's angled, or hold it down. Let me try the top version. Oh yeah, that's a lot. You have a lot more leverage doing that. Okay, well, that was one press each. Just kind of spin it, I guess. Toss in some butter, toss in some milk. Use our Smood to whisk it all up here. Oh yeah, I gotta use my scraper on the side if it starts going around the edges. I want to say the guy in the demonstration did a little bit better job than I'm doing, but it's still pretty good. Now, I usually make mashed potatoes with a mixer. Haven't made it this way for quite a while, so let me see what we got. Pretty good. It's not quite as smooth as the mixer makes. It's not really that lumpy either. I think it's pretty good. I would say that it looks a little bit easier on their demonstration. It takes a little bit more force than I thought, and as a whisk, it's all right. On the other hand, this was pretty easy and it came out pretty good, so I can't say too much about it. All right, let's try an avocado real quick because it's supposed to be good for that as well. Smood versus avocado. Ugh. Oh no, look, that's not good. Let me regroup this and do the rest of it under here. Maybe it was too big. I'm wearing the avocado now. Well, good thing I've got another half I can try it out with. As soon as I wipe this off of me, I will do it. I was just pressing down from the top like they said I'm supposed to, and it slid right off onto my lap. I'm wearing avocado on my lap right now. I'll be right back. Cleaning up in aisle 7. I still got some more cleanup to do, but I'm gonna try this other half. I'm gonna be more careful not to have it slide off there again. I'm not nervous here. Ugh. I don't know about this for avocado, guys. I know that they make it look a lot easier than it is, but it's sliding off there. I'm gonna take credit for it because I guess nobody else can take blame for it but me, so I guess it's my fault. But it did take a lot of effort to the point where I was pushing too hard, and that's why it slipped off. So good for mashed potatoes. I'm not as convinced about avocado, but we got plenty more to go. Let's move on, and then I gotta finish my cleanup here. Next up, we're gonna look at the Clongs, which are the click-lock sit-up tongs. The silicone top here has a smooth edge for scraping, because they're all about scraping at Dreamfarm. A waffle edge for gripping, and this flat edge for picking things up. So it has this ridge here that allows you, say you gotta go do something real quick, if you got food that's dripping, you can place it like that, and the food will drip back in there. Or if it's not dripping, you can just place it on the counter, and your food will not get on the counter, and the germs in your counter will not get on your food. There is a pretty good precision to this. I found that it's pretty easy to pick up. The other thing is it has this click. That's what this CL from Clongs is. So you can just click it like a pen and on your leg. That's closed. That's open. You only need one hand to lock them and unlock them, which I think is pretty cool. Again, this smooth side is for scraping. There's not much to scrape in here, but if I did need to scrape, I could scrape. I am scraping something. By the way, this is my granite rock pan. My favorite pan I reviewed so far. It's a really nice pan if you've ever used it. And the silicone here is good for nonstick pans as well, so that's kind of a nice marriage between the two of these. Let me clean these off and try a little bit of pasta. The Clongs work well for picking up pasta. I'm not sure if they're much better than other tongs, but they do work pretty well for picking up pasta. I do like the fact that you can place it down on your counter and not worry about any food getting on there or cross-contaminating. And I do like the fact that you can rest it in here if it's dripping, so it can just drip back into the pan. Those are all cool features. I think the precision of the flat tip is also pretty good as well. I like them, they're pretty good. Let's try the Supoon, which is the sit-up scraping spoon. It's got a tip here that has a flat end to it. It has a built-in measuring cup, 5 milliliter teaspoon, 15 milliliter tablespoon. Like the Clongs, it also has this dip in the handle, which allows you to keep your food off the counter and keep the germs from the counter off your food. Let's go try it out. All right, I've got some taco meat here that is ready to go. And this Supoon here is perfect for scraping. Now the demonstration I saw them use online went something like this. I'm gonna see if I can duplicate it, because sometimes demonstrations don't always pan out in real life. But here's what they did. Let me see if it works out for me as well. They put some food on a white plate, some more food on a white plate. I have to put this down, and my spoon will not get dirty from the counter because of this. Let's try scraping this with an old school spoon like this. Okay, the meat came off, but there's a little bit of this left behind. Let's see if the Supoon can do better. Well, I guess with the flat tip you can scrape better. If scraping is important to you, Dreamfarm has a lot of products that are for you. Let's check this out more closely. All right, well, once again, the handle does keep it off there. It keeps the germs off the spoon, it keeps the spoon off the counter. I think they've done a pretty good job of just improving on a pretty basic design, adding a couple features to make it just a little bit better. These are Levoons, which stands for scrape level measuring spoons. Each one of these has this little lever that allows you to scrape it off and level it off perfectly. You've got 4 sizes from 1/4 teaspoon up to 1 tablespoon. They have slightly narrow designs to them so they can fit into containers. Let's try it out. You can also, from what I understand, these can pop off and you can just kind of leave them together, or you can keep them separate. Let's go from smallest to biggest. Go with 1/4 teaspoon, about some cayenne pepper. All right, so I think it's best to level it off inside the container like this. And then when you bring it out, you got a nice level scoop, which looks pretty good. If you do it, let me see what happens if you do it outside of the container. You don't want that to go in your food, so if you level it off like that, yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. So I think they're right to level it off inside the container and then dump your spice afterwards. All right, that's one. Let's try 1/2 teaspoon. We'll try some black pepper here. Will it fit in that small opening? Let's find out. Oh, it does. It just fits. See if I just pull it out like that. It's kind of level already, actually, but let me see. A couple squeezes, and that looks pretty good. Do you guys think that looks level? I think so. 1 teaspoon. Once again, see when you just scoop it out of there, that's more than a teaspoon. Oh, you gotta be careful. Oh, you gotta be careful. That's gonna go on the counter. It smells like garlic in here now. All right, and finally, try some baking soda. And it does fit in there. That's definitely more than a tablespoon, so let's do it in here. Oh, that's a beautiful, look at that, perfectly level. Very nice. I mean, it's a simple design, there's not much to it, but I think that that little lever is kind of a cool idea. Overall, they're slightly more expensive than the regular utensil, but on the other hand, they generally improve the regular utensils as well, so it might be worth the extra cost depending on what your needs are. I do give them credit because rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, they're just taking ordinary utensils and improving on them slightly by adding a feature or two, which is probably the way to do it. But anyways, let me get to my ranking here. Number 5, I'm gonna say, is the Smood, which I thought worked pretty well. Not so much in the avocado, although I'll take blame for half of that. At least. It was a pretty soft avocado though. It wasn't like it was really hard. I'm just not sure this is really as useful for avocados as I expected. If you're in the market for potato masher, this one might do the trick. At 20 bucks, it really isn't too bad. They've added the scraper on there, which I think they all have. I think all their products have scrapers on them. But the Smood is my number 5 pick. Number 4, I'm gonna say, is the Levoons. They actually work quite well with this little scraper here. Some people are gonna say, I can just use my finger and do that and not pay $15 for measuring spoons, and they might be right. But if you're the kind of kitchen gadget junkie that some people are, this might be a must-have. Number 3, I'm gonna say, is the Supoon. A very cool design. I like the fact that it has this little dent here in the handle to keep the food off of the handle and vice versa. I like the built-in measuring cup. So I have nothing really bad to say about it. The only problem is some people aren't gonna wanna spend $10 on a spoon. Even though it has some cool features, that may not be worth the extra money to some people. I'm gonna say number 2 is the Garject. Very cool product. I think it probably offers the most innovation and the cool factor of all these. The only reason I didn't rank this number 1 is because it's about 40 bucks. But if you're looking for a garlic press, this should definitely be on your short list of ones to try. Works quite well made. And I think if you have any garlic aficionados show up and you show this to them, they're gonna geek out on it. And finally, I have the Clongs, I'm gonna say, is number 1. It's still a little bit expensive at 20 bucks, but I think that it offers enough innovation to be worth considering because you can place it over the pan when it's dripping, place it on the counter when it's not. It has this click mechanism that you don't have to have a separate hand for when you're locking and unlocking. I just think that this one offers probably the most innovation at the best price of the 5 items that I tried. I think the Clongs edges out the Garject, my Dreamfarm comparison. I give them credit for their great names on these items and for innovating what are typically standard household utensils and coming up with ways of improving all of them. So I think that people at Dreamfarm done a pretty good job. And I also have a soft spot in my heart for Australians, and that's where they're from. Anyway, if you're in the market for any of these, I'll leave a link in the description below. Have you tried any of these Dreamfarm items? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please follow my social profiles for progress pictures, videos as I go. And please subscribe for more product reviews from me, James White, with Freakin' Reviews. See if I can launch this garlic here. You're supposed to launch it in the trash, but that's not as fun on video. Let's see. Oh, whoa, that went like 3 feet.